Howdy everybody, my name is Charles Marticello, and this is the fourth in what I hope to be a much longer list of Civil War songs that I'll play for you on my banjo. Tonight I have you a song called Tenting Tonight. Right? And don't really have much to say about the song except that I really do think it's beautiful, and I hope that I can do it justice. We're tenting tonight on the old campground. Give us a song to cheer our weary hearts, a song of home and friends we love so dear. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We've been tenting tonight on the old campground, thinking of days gone by, of the loved ones at home who gave us the hand and tearfully said goodbye. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We are tired of war on the old campground. Many are dead and gone, of the brave and true who've left their homes, and others wounded long. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We've been fighting today on the old campground. Many are lying near. Some are dead and some are dying. Many are in tears. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. Dying tonight, dying tonight, dying on the old campground. I have a couple thoughts about this song, and this coincides with the thoughts of, along the lines of what I was talking about during the Minstrel Boy near the tail end of that song. To me, this song came about the end of the Civil War, after several years of the war had gone by. And what many people don't know is that a good deal of the soldiers who enlisted for the Civil War, well, some did it for pay, some did it for this reason or that. A lot of people joined just because they didn't have anything else to do and they wanted to get off the farm or find a better job, or they enlist because they would get a bit of their pay up front, and they'd go off and they'd enlist several times and get a bunch of money, and then sometimes desert, sometimes not desert, but a lot of the times a bunch of boys would go to town hall and enlist just to get a lot of in that time, it was a lot of money that they would give you up front for enlisting, especially towards the in the couple last 2 years of the war. And they'd wind up fighting. And the thing about war, that the Civil War, and in general, war with guns changed, was that, but I would argue that it was the Civil War that really did this. Most people didn't die during war. Not at least the battles, not at least the main battles. And throughout history, most wars have been fought as a system of sieges and a system of sieges and assaults, or relieving sieges, and then battles might happen as a result of that. Not with the American Civil War, which is truly one of the reasons why it's the most important war in history, because it marked the turning point of what war meant. But back to my point. What happened in the ancient world, the Greeks, the Romans, people didn't necessarily die in war, in the battles up front. You wouldn't be hacking and slashing and killing, and fighting to the last man was not a thing that happened all that much in wars. What would happen is that an enemy would start to flee or retreat or rout, whichever one you want to call it. All of them broadly fit the definition. And then most of the people would be cut down by cavalry in the pursuit phase of the battle. Not with the American Civil War. You'd have a bunch of men line up, load their muskets or rifles, depending on which they had, and shoot at each other. And thousands of men would die. Hundreds of thousands of men would die. And it was not what war was like. Another part of the Civil War that led to it being so bloody was the bayonet. Bayonet charges were not used in the Civil War. You may know that, you might say, Joshua Chamberlain did the bayonet charge when he was during Gettysburg. Yes. West Point. He pulled that from one of his textbooks from West Point. It was in the movie that makes Gettysburg so famous, Gettysburg. He pulls a textbook maneuver, as they call it, from pretty much his butt, and he does a bayonet charge. Everybody, fix your bayonets and charge down. Nobody in the Civil War. That's why it was so effective, because nobody had seen it. Because you got a bunch of guys with big pointy sticks pointing them at you, ready to run you through because you don't have bullets. That's an intimidating thing, and that's where you get a piece of ancient warfare through to medieval. But a bunch of people pointing sticks, running down a hill at you. That is intimidating, and that will cause people to flee or just give up. And that's what happened with Chamberlain's group when he did the bayonet charge. But generally, there's almost none. There's very few cases of, I won't say none, but there are very few cases of bayonets being used traditionally like they were used during the Revolutionary War. Because usually you'd have a fixed bayonets and charge, and that's when people would either decide to flee or not. But you literally have, during the Civil War, men lining up, loading, shooting, not moving, just going right back to loading and firing and loading and firing. And that led to many, many casualties. And the point I'm trying to make in relation to tenting on the old campground is that these men, this is a mourning song for everything that they lost during the war. All of the hopes, all of the loved ones that they lost, everything that changed as a result of the war, and the way warfare changed. And the chorus part really gets me. It's many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. And this goes back to the point I made with the minstrel boy. Towards the end of the war, they didn't want to keep fighting. They wanted peace. And I'd beg to differ whether or not they cared which side won. I'm sure they would wanted their own side to win, but I think they were really looking for the war to end. Either way. And they really did question what they were fighting for. And then the last words of the song, dying tonight, dying tonight, dying on the old campground, is just, it's heartbreaking.